All right. It takes me about 10 minutes to get over to the dollar store, walking slow. And I can tell you, there ain't no birds, there ain't no pigeons, and there ain't no crows. Now, I'm going to tell you two funny stories, maybe to some of you guys. And I'll go, yeah. This is for the people that never experienced it. So, I'm in Florida. We're moving the McGraw-Edison aerospace stuff from Fort Lauderdale up to West Orange because we had the Voice Writer building. Voice Writer went out of business. They had a brand new building, and the one in Florida they were renting. So they decided they get money moving businesses around. That's the old way they used to make money, companies. So anyway, we go out to eat, and we park our car. It's a buffet, and it's pretty busy. So we park all the way to the back of the parking lot next to a fence. And we get out and we look in past the fence and we see big construction, really large drainage pipes. We're looking at that, you know. And then we go in and we eat, and then we come back and it's dark. And there's a bunch of people back by the fence. And they go back there with them. We did, the three of us. And we're standing there and like there's this big mound and it's glistening. And I said to someone, they look like cockroaches. And someone says, no, they're palmetto bugs. I said, you know, we just looked at these pipes before we went and ate. I said, they weren't that high up in the air. And some guys, that's a pile of palmetto bugs, and they're mating. And I'm talking, I don't want to scare you. I don't want to give you nightmares, but there's this giant pile. Yeah, okay, it's 20 foot across and 20 foot high. And it's glistening. And it's making this noise. Horror movie, absolute horror movie. So one guy goes, that's not all palmetto bugs. You can't be. Wow, you know me, right? I'm like, no, I saw the pipes. We had to look down at the pipes. Now we're looking up at a pile of these bugs. So I look down at the ground and there's a brick. I'm going to fix this real quick. I pick the brick up and I throw it in the pile of palmetto bugs. That's what they said they were. Well, they can fly. So what do you think happened? We made it to our car real fast. We had our car unlocked. And you see all these rubes. Yeah, these palmetto bugs all decided to come up in the air at the same time. And we were already in the car. And we were laughing. And they go, well, you solved that problem, how deep they were. I said, yeah, I solved it. Anyway, another funny thing. Now, I mentioned that I walked to the dollar store and I came back and I didn't see a bird, I didn't see a pigeon, I didn't see a crow. You know, around shopping malls, you have pigeons. They're always there. They're not there anymore. All right. So I'm down. Now, where am I? I'm back to the downtown. I'm down in Arlington, Texas. I had to go to Arlington, Texas to school. Again, school. I had to go for Olivetti. And we actually had the school in the hotel we were staying at. So anyway, I'm going out. We go out shopping. We had to share a car. And we go out, and I said to the guys, it never dropped below 100. The whole week I was, the whole 2 weeks I was there, I'm pretty sure it never dropped below 100. That's day and night. Night it would cool down, but it was still over 100. So I said to one of the guys, I said, you know, the one night I was outside the hotel and I saw this really big bug flying around. And it could have been one of those cicadas, if I'm saying it right. It might have been. It could have been a bat. But I said to the guy, I would never live here. There are no birds. And these guys now, for the next week, are like saying, there's got to be birds. There's birds everywhere. I said, yeah. So anyway, we're in the car. We're coming out of one of the shopping malls down in Arlington, Texas. And that's right near Dallas. The guy slams the brakes on in the car. He goes, hey, there's a bird there. And, you know, welcome to the mall, that sign. And there's a bird sitting up there. And he goes, there are birds here. Thing drops off and dies. It didn't hit the ground and flutter around. It came off like it was committing suicide. And the guys in the car, no one said nothing. They're like, gee, John, There's a bird. They just so I start. We're driving. I'm like, so what? He goes, that's not normal. They didn't want to even talk about it. We look at the bird that falls off and dies. I'm like, well, it's really hot. It hasn't gone below 100. We were probably there a week and a half when that happened. But I would never go to Arlington, Texas, ever again. I won't go into what it was really like. The best part, I don't know if it's still there, was Luby's. It was a buffet. You'd go in and you go along. And you say to a girl, give me potatoes, give me mixed vegetable, give me a turkey. Right? You go along, and the girl is watching from the end, and she's watching what you buy, and she gives you a receipt. She's keyed it in, your receipt, and then you go to your table and you're eating. Now, when you look at the line to leave, when it gets less people, you get up, you go over, and you pay her, and then you leave. And it was I loved eating there, and there was all these different choices you had. So the guys are like, we go to Luby's every day. Anyway, all right, we're going to McDonald's. And we go to McDonald's, and it was all dried out. And they're like, we should have went to Luby's. I go, yeah, yeah. I said, for 2 weeks, you could handle Luby's every day. But we went to some of the different places. And one night, they wanted to go to a bar. I said, all right. And we had this paper, because I think the town we were in was a dry county or a dry area. And they had a map they gave us that showed how to go to a bar and how to go back roads to a place that would sell beer. So we went to this bar and we walked in the bar and it wasn't air conditioned. And the guy's looking at me. I said, dude, I could smell the bathroom. And the girl at the register when we walked in says, that's terrible, isn't it? I said, you have no, we don't have air conditioning. I'm like, boo. We turned around and left. And then it was like we went looking at the map, and the next day at school, the guy told us a different place to go to. And I don't drink, but if someone wants to go buy beer, I'll go with him, just to keep him company in the car, help him if he gets lost, that kind of thing. But I want to tell you, yeah, this freaking bird. He said, there's a bird, John. There's one. Boom. I was like, oh, and then they want to talk about it. Because it's one of those coincidences in life which made the story funny. And over the years, that was a funny story. But after a while, you have other stories that are even funnier than that. I know. What could top that? Oh, John, you said there's no birds around there. Look, there's a bird there. Boom. I think that's it. All right. That's it. Watch out for those palmetto bugs.